You've got to hear this. So remember how I've been all about hitting up the tech scene recently? Well, get this. I've decided to blend the tech with the art. Can you imagine me, of all people, sinking his teeth into augmented reality? Right. Well, that's just what I'm doing. Interactive installation art. You should see my workspace right now. It's a damn mess. Wires, headsets, sensors, it's all over the place. And I'm choosing to see this frenzy as potential. Latitude to experiment, you know? Like a canvas smeared with colors, ready to be turned into a masterpiece. Of course, a particular masterpiece that'll likely make an electrical fire. Yeah, I should probably look into that. I had a chat with Nina about it today. She stumbled upon an art bidding event happening here in New York. Can you believe that? Immediately thought it would be right up my alley. Trust Nina to look out for my highbrow interests, eh? She said she's going to bring her art buyer skills to the table. I told her to refrain from any impulsive buying, not that my advice ever curbs her buying sprees. As for me, I've given her a heads up about my newest venture, this installation art and AR gig. She seemed fair chuffed about it. It's got its challenges, of course. Figuring my way around the tech, trying to get the interactivity just right, that's a puzzle I never knew I'd be dealing with. But, hey, resilience is key, right? Crunch time's sort of becoming my everyday life now, part of this mad ride I've signed up for. Luckily, I've got Nina by my side to cheerlead me through my disasters. Essentially, she can't wait to see my genius culminate in a piece. And by genius, I mean the AR novelty, because let's be real, technology always has a way of making things look more impressive than they really are. So after spending the day immersed in the world of virtual pixels and digital landscapes, I can tell you this, I might just be the Picasso of the VR world. Instead of a shotgun approach with COD or Fortnite, we dove headfirst into the sophisticated side of gaming, tossing over art-themed challenges while dodging virtual ninjas. Almost a modern-day vision of the persistence of memory. There's this one challenge that had us scale a surrealist landscape. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was far from being Dali, but boy, did I embrace the insanity. Now, wouldn't that make an interesting twist to my portfolio? Huh. Speaking of art, you remember Nina, right? Our friend, the art enthusiast? She stumbled upon an auction where digital artworks were being sold. Now that's tech and art colliding in a domain I didn't quite anticipate. Imagine, sitting at home, sipping your coffee and bidding for a piece of digital art, maybe even one crafted in VR, from anywhere around the globe. Wild, right? And the crazy part is, the more I think about it, the more it seems possible. VR art, digital installations, maybe even an augmented reality interactive exhibition. The tech renaissance bringing in a new wave of creative expression. This could be an interesting path to explore, wouldn't you agree? Oh, right. About Nina, she was pretty excited about the whole concept. Even hinted at me venturing into the digital side of things. Picture me, of all people, sporting VR goggles, flailing my arms around, crafting digital masterpieces. A sight to behold, huh? I just might be the one pioneering the blend of traditional and digital art, bringing in a new age of art-tech fusion. In a world where everyone's trying to define and contain art, why not break some of these absolute perceptions? Maybe it's time for me to take a leap and let my art seep into the abyss of the digital unknown. Well, as outlandish and alien as it might seem, the prospect does rub me the right way. Maybe all my recent ventures into the tech dimension weren't attempts at escaping my art, but rather a roundabout way of discovering a new canvas to play with? You know, change might seem scary, but it always has its way of leaving you intrigued, making you want to rewrite history, or in this case, art history. Anyway, I'm getting carried away now, plus the smell of dry paint calls to me, reminding me I have a canvas to grace with my painted symphony. Because, old school art or not, a blank canvas always feels like home, right? So, you remember that seminar I told you about that I attended yesterday on social media marketing for artists? It was a revelation, to put it mildly. The speaker, Taylor, had some solid practical advice about how to increase followers, when to post, and how to use the ever-elusive hashtag effectively, which honestly will probably feel like painting with an entirely different medium. Heck, it's probably a bigger challenge than VR painting, ha! Speaking of VR, Nina asked me if I ever tried painting in VR. Can you imagine me swirling around in my studio, headset on, brushing strokes through a three-dimensional void? It's a wild thought, but the more I ponder it, the more it starts to sound like another exciting canvas to explore. Just another ground for emergence of a novel kind of expression, a new art form, a new dimension to my work. Just imagine turning my studio into a 4D gallery. Sound like a scene from a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? In our chat today, the conversation took an interesting turn from art, tech, and VR exploration to, well, food and drinks. Ha! Nina and I ended up fooling around emojis. We've discovered that if I were a wizard, I'd turn beer into burgers so I can drink them all day. The things I'd do for an everlasting supply of burgers. We even got to exchanging our cooking plans for the night. I'm set on a plate of spaghetti, and Nina's whipping up some authentic pad thai. I guess conversations with dear friends can bring about the most random yet amusing discussions. Yet, in all randomness, the thought of venturing into VR intrigues me. The digital realm seems to be beckoning me lately, first with the social media developments, now with the VR painting. There's a part of me that wants to resist it, tempted to stay within my comforting physical canvas. Yet there's another part, possibly the adventurous artist in me, who is excited about the prospects that the digital world can afford. So here I am, hoping to turn my Instagram profile from a visual diary to a virtual art gallery. I can almost hear the social media gods laughing at my desperate attempts. And as much terrifying it is to think of embracing the alien digital world, paradoxically, it's equally thrilling, like standing before a vast, blank canvas, not knowing where to put the first stroke.